Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jeff White with Jeff White Fitness Solutions. Thanks for checking out this video today. Now, I know the big topic of discussion right now is the bank situation, banks failing in the United States and bank runs potentially around the world. Well, that's something else you have to ask yourself. Will that money have any value? Yes, you can take that money out and put it under your mattress or put it in another bank, but is it going to be worth anything? Now, I just found out some really interesting information here, and it's about Mexico applying to join the BRICS nations. Now, what I'm going to show you next is an interview from the South African. What is she? She is the Minister of International Relations and Cooperations. Her name is Grace Naledi Mandisa Pandor. And this is very interesting. Listen to what she says about the BRICS nations and who has applied to join. So check this out.
Priority areas that we have signaled as part of our BRICS mandate.
Plans for expansion, looking to get more
Expansion,
members.
that's a big debate. As you know, the five countries came together as a progressive forum. There's a lot of commonality. India and South Africa experienced colonialism and came out of it. Brazil has had experience of fighting for democracy. They had many military coups and so on. Now they're a strong democratic nation. China has come out of a very difficult period of poverty. And Russia, of course, has had to withstand the Second World War and other experiences. So we come from a history of struggle and have come together to try and shape a common global agenda. Now, when you have people interested in joining your organization, one of the first questions is, do they reflect our characteristics and interests? So while we are ready to discuss expansion, we believe that it's very important that we shape a set of criteria that we would utilize to look at the various countries that are interested. I think it's a plus for BRICS that there are countries that say we want to join you, and they're actually writing everywhere we go. We are asked about this, so it will be something our leaders will discuss at the summit in August, and after that we'll have guidance from them.
But how many countries have sent you the
I
invite
think
that we want to be?
on my desk, I think I have 12 letters.
12 letters?
And I suspect other foreign ministers have had approaches from their own regions. Yeah.
Any names you like to
Yes,
share?
indeed. They've come out publicly. Saudi Arabia is one, United Arab Emirates, Egypt, Algeria, Argentina. So it's a growing list. Mexico, Nigeria. So there's huge interest worldwide. And once we've shaped the criteria, we will then make the decision.
Do I have to tell you guys how huge that is, what she just said and listed all those different countries? Now, we know Mexico is America's neighbor. So that's huge. Just like BRICS is right next door, literally. Now, if that isn't concerning enough, you have many nations around the world that are doing trade outside of the US dollar. Now, mind you, the majority of trade for decades now has been using US dollars because the US dollar is the world reserve currency. Well, nation after nation are slowly moving away from the dollar and doing trades in other currencies. Now, I didn't even put Russia on here, but you guys know with the sanctions, Russia is doing a lot of trades outside the US dollar. So, you really need to think about this. Basically, it's like this. The less countries are using the US dollar for trade, the less demand there is for the US dollar. The value of the US dollar will begin to decrease even more, making goods even more expensive. Now, here's the kicker. If these countries move away from the dollar, and we all know America is a consumer nation, will they even accept the US dollar to buy their goods going forward? And if they do, how much more will it cost us? These are the questions you have to ask yourself because things are getting quite scary, people. And it's not being discussed in mainstream media. Everyone is focused on the banks, which is totally understandable. But again, ask yourself if these banks fail and you do happen to get your money out, or even if you lose your money, you're still stuck because the dollar is not going to be worth as much as it was before. This is a huge story, and people are not really paying attention to this aspect of the dollar and the U.S. economy. Now, I know all this just seems so far fetched and unbelievable, and a lot of people will be thinking, well, nothing's going to happen. Everything's going to be okay. I mean, just take a look around and ask yourself, is it really going to be okay? Has the homeless population increased in your area? Here where I am, it has exploded. Think about all the layoffs that are going on. Think about the banks. Think about the train derailments. Think about the droughts. It's too much going on at one time, and it's just been getting worse since 2020. So I think if you're not really paying attention or you just blowing it off, now's the time to really step up and pay attention. Again, these countries are moving away from the US dollar, so you have to prepare accordingly. It's not going to go away. And when everything hits, it's going to be fast, ugly, and severe and downright devastating. So here's some things that we must do. First thing you got to do is just pay attention to the world financial news, and you have to go out and actively seek this information. How many people saw that video or even heard of the video of the woman? I'm talking about Mexico and these other nations wanting to join BRICS. It's not in mainstream media. You got to hunt for this stuff. So next, you got to be mentally prepared for inflation to increase because these countries are not using the dollar as much as they used to, and they are not buying our debt, our bonds as much as they used to. The only people who are buying it is the federal government, and they are buying our debt. It's like a Ponzi scheme at this point. The demand for the dollar is decreasing, people. Is no other way to put it. Next, to protect yourself, you must get physical gold and silver. Gold and silver have been used as money for thousands of years, and I didn't put this on this video, but I've talked about it many, many times before. Central banks around the world are stocking up on physical gold. Even if you don't really care for gold or you think it's just an ancient relic or you can't eat gold, ask yourself, why are they buying it then? What do they know that you don't? And I'm going to tell you right now, you don't know a lot because it's not taught in school. Our schools did not teach us anything about precious metals or gold and silver. All they taught us about is the stock market and 401ks, which is quite frankly garbage. Next, you do have to have some cash on hand because if the banks do fail, and you can't get your money out of the bank, you're still gonna need some cash. You're still gonna need to pay your bills because, and I said this in a previous video, yeah, your bank could fail, but your electric bill don't care about that. Your phone bill don't care. Your car note don't care. They want their money, and if you don't pay them, you best believe you're gonna get cut off. They don't care, people. They really don't care. Next, with the money you have now, stock up on food. Buy you some canned goods. Get you some rice. Get you some flour. Get you some baking soda. You can make your own bread, people. You can make your own bread. You can buy rice, um, buy some beans, canned goods. Get everything you can. Go to the Dollar Tree if you have to. Dollar Tree has some really good deals for $1.25. You can get a lot of good stuff. Next, plant a garden. We have these droughts going on all over. You want to be able to have some food of your own that you can grow in your own house. And the more food you have, the more food you can grow in your own, the less you're going to be relying on having to go out to the store. Next, increase your security because if things get as bad as I believe they can, people are going to be going crazy and you need to be able to protect yourself. And one thing you can do is you can have things like this all throughout your house. This is a stun gun. A lot of people may not want to have one of these everywhere or out, but you can have a stun gun in literally every room. So if something happens suddenly, you can just whip this bad boy out and you can do what you got to do just like that. Okay. And everyone can learn how to use a stun gun. So increase your security. So get what you feel comfortable getting, but get a lot of it. Period. Get a lot of it. Next, get alternative sources of power. Again, if the currency gets devalued, the currency fails, or the banks don't give you access to your money, the electric company will not care. They will cut your lights off. So get you a gas generator, get you a couple solar generators so you can have one to keep your refrigerator running and another one to make rice or turn on lights. I can't stress this enough, people. This is getting scary, and it's not going to get better. It's going to get a whole lot worse before it gets better. So you have to do everything you can to protect yourself now. So leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Are you paying attention to this? And if you are working to help protect yourself, what are you doing? These are just some things that I suggest, but there are other things you can do too. So let's talk about it, people, because this is not a joke, and mainstream media is keeping us distracted, and they are not talking about this at all.